All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome, and thank you for, we haven't had this meeting, Tony Carroll, since 2020.
Yes, the
3 years
last one was February 2020.
Feb 2020, so it's been 3 years that we had a GarsCom monthly meeting face-to-face. It's actually nice seeing you guys, so you might recognize my voice, but might not have seen me before, so I'm Manuel. Hello, and to all the people on Zoom as well, thank you for joining. I apologize that the room is so hot and dark, but the power was supposed to come back at 6 o'clock, and then we would have had a presentation on the wall for you. Unfortunately, as you know, our power will only be back at, it was at 8 o'clock. Yeah, it was going to be back at 6. There's actually just a couple of bullet points, and we're going to talk around that. So between some of the GarsCom directors, we are going to talk to you guys a bit. And so there is lights around. You guys can move it around if it bothers you. So if it's in your eyes or something, that's fine. So again, welcome and thank you for coming through. We're actually quite excited about tonight's meeting. But before we start the meeting, Phoebe, can I please ask you to just open with prayer for us?
Shall we pray? Our Lord and our Savior, we just want to give you thanks for tonight. Father, we just want to ask for your blessings, even as we discuss our community matters. Lord, we just want to ask for your love, for your care, for your protection over each and everyone who is gathered here and everyone who is in the community. Lord, above all these things, we just want to ask for your guidance, even as we continue to deliberate, to discuss, to reason with one another. We ask for your guidance. We ask that, Lord, you give us your unity among each and every one of us. We ask all these in our precious name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Phoebe. All right, so the meeting for tonight, please come in. Good evening. Ja, nou moet nou nie weer moeilikheid. All right, everybody. So just our meeting tonight is going to be a bit different. So our monthly meetings and going forward, they will return to normal, whatever normal is. We hear that word quite a lot nowadays, not normal. So going forward, we will again discuss municipal matters, security, etc. Tonight is a bit different. We're not going to discuss any municipal matters, but there is something different that we are going to discuss. So I'm going to start off, first of all, just talking a little bit about the GarsCom history. So GarsCom is actually, and you'll see it on the back of the calendar as well. So you'll see the back of the calendar is silver because celebrating 25 years is silver, isn't it? So the color is silver, 25 years. So GarsCom is 25 years old this year. I think that's a round of applause, don't you think? So if we look at the GarsCom model, where we started and where we're actually now and who it is that we interact with. So there's two arms. I like to talk about two arms of GarsCom or the GarsCom model. So the one is community engagement. And the one thing that we realized quite soon when GarsCom just started is that we need to keep the community together. Togetherness helps with security. It helps with a lot of things. If people know about each other, they can share information. And that is then obviously also where the WhatsApp group started. So each street has got a WhatsApp group with WhatsApp admins. Thank you to those admins. You're doing a stunning job. And all those admins belong to a main admin group where we then share the information and they then distribute that to their streets. So we have not just the communication model, which is on there and on Facebook, etc., but also fun activities. And exactly for that, for bringing the community together. So as you guys will know, one of the latest initiatives that we started with is the GarsCom market, where we actually have a lot of people in our community that are vendors at the market. And I see some of the vendors here tonight. I saw the pizza guy here. He unfortunately didn't bring pizzas. But, and there's other things that GarsCom do as well. And a lot of things that we will look at introducing again that stopped before COVID started. So all of those fun activities we will definitely bring back to have that unity within the community. That's the one thing that we do not want to lose, that unity. GarsCom is also a lot of the people that is helping GarsCom or bringing their bit are volunteers. The same for the GarsCom directors. So the GarsCom directors do not get paid. So I know there's a lot of people that think we get money, but we don't. We do this for the love in our hearts for our community, and that's why we do it. And that is what the other people in GarsCom do as well. So there's other people behind the scenes that help, like the admins, the street admins. There are patrollers, a lot of patrollers. They get up at 1 o'clock in the morning to patrol until 3 o'clock, etc. There's people that help with marketing. There is people that help with finances. So GarsCom is a NPO, a registered NPO. We're a public benefit company. So everything that has to happen behind the scenes that happens with a normal company happens with GarsCom as well. So there's actually a lot of volunteers that help us. And GarsCom would not have been 25 years old if it wasn't for the community and for the volunteers that we have. So I really thank everybody that help us do what it is that needs to be done. Another, the second arm, so the first arm is the community engagement. The second arm is the dedicated proactive service, and that is where the security part comes in. So it's one thing to have a community togetherness, but another thing to protect that community. And that is exactly what we try and do. So you might say, but we do have security companies looking after us. But the GarsCom model is a proactive model. And what do I mean by that? So your security company, you have an alarm that's monitored, and when your alarm goes off, then your security company will phone you and they will come out and do whatever they need to do. That is after the fact. So what the GarsCom model speaks about is that we do things proactively before someone breaks into your house. Does it mean that those things won't happen in GarsCom? No, of course not. Unfortunately, they still happen, but you will hear on the monthly meetings when Anthony talks about the stats. Our area, the GarsCom area, the crime is actually much less in our area than in other areas. So there's a couple of things that we do to be proactive. First of all, we have 2 patrol cars never leaving the area. So that means the security company has 2 patrol cars that they have in the area. You guys have seen the national vehicles in the area, and they never leave the area. They're always here to respond to alarms, or the control room will ask them to go and check up on something or whatever it is. They do patrols, they do the patrols, obviously at night together with the volunteers that is doing the patrols. And even when the shift change happens, the vehicles do not leave the area. The only time that one of those vehicles will leave the area is if it has to be serviced. But then they will bring another vehicle in and take that vehicle out. But those vehicles never leave the area. Then we also have in Whippet Street, we have the GarsCom control room. So a lot of you have probably spoken to some of the operators in the control room. So that control room is there for the community. Anybody can phone that control room and they will assist you, regardless if you belong to a security company or not, regardless if you belong to GarsCom or not. That control room is there for everybody. So if there's an issue, you can phone them, or you can send them a WhatsApp. There's a landline and a cell number. You can send a WhatsApp as well, and they will help you. So what do they do, the control room? Well, the main thing, or the main duty that they have to do is they have to monitor suspicious activity in the area. So we have, and you guys, I'm sure you have seen, is that we have cameras all over the place. In strategic places, we actually have cameras, and we have just recently put up some more cameras, and we're hoping in the near future to roll out even more cameras. So there's cameras, for instance, at all the entrances. So when you come in by the engine garage at St. Bernard. There are cameras there. Lorista, where you come in, there's cameras. And where you come from Woodhill, when you come into St. Bernard Street, there's also cameras there because that's also an entrance into our area. Some of those cameras are just normal cameras for monitoring. So there are screens within the control room. So they monitor 24/7 anything that happens in the area with these specific hotspots. But we also have LPR cameras. So an LPR camera is a license plate recognition camera. So what does that mean? That means that that camera has the ability to read a number plate. So all cars coming into our area and actually leaving our area, we read those number plates. We don't necessarily save those number plates, so we are POPI compliant. We don't save those number plates, but what we do is we have signed up with Sniper. So what does Sniper do? So it's one thing to read the number plate, but it's another thing to do something about it. So Sniper is a company that actually has a database. Now on that database, there are all and any suspicious vehicles are listed on the Sniper database. So what does that allow us to do? Well, two things. Number one is when a vehicle comes in and there is no operator interaction, this all happens automatically, is that LPR camera will read that license plate and it happens in an instant. Will read the number plate, it will run it through the Sniper database, and if it matches that license plate to a suspicious vehicle, it will notify the operator sitting there that there is a vehicle that entered your area that is a suspicious vehicle, and then they can do the necessary. That's number one. Number two, what they can also do is, if any crime happens within our area, they can list that vehicle on Sniper to go into the database. So we don't just read, we add to that database as well. So that's talking about the control room and the cameras. And the control room isn't just there for security. I mean, there's lots of calls that come into the control room. Sometimes it's a medical emergency. They will assist with that. Sometimes it's someone that requires to be towed or jumper cables, or they need water, or whatever the case might be. That control room is there for the community, and you all are welcome to phone them. And then active and intense collaboration. So that active and intense collaboration is with our dedicated security provider. I just want to see the next slide.
Sorry. Oh, yeah.
Yes. So I'm going to, when I talk about the security company, and I'll also explain, I will also explain the model where it comes to our security company. So we have actually partnered up in 2004 with a company called Chubb. So those of you that can remember Chubb, so we partnered with Chubb from 2004 until 2016. So what happened then is Chubb was actually not a local company. And what I mean by that is they were actually investors in Chubb from outside of South Africa as well. So what happened is those investors then sold to shareholders in South Africa only. It's only owned by South Africa, and then they became national, where you know today. Okay. So why is it that we partner? So this question we get quite a lot. Why is it that we partner with a specific security company and not another company? So what is the reason for that? And that is quite simple. So as GarsCom, we are quite adamant on what we want. And when I say that, that is because we need to keep the community safe. So there's certain things that we require. And if you as a security company cannot give us that, we're going to go to the next security company and ask them, are you able to provide us with the following? And back in the day, Chubb was the only security company, or Chubb then, National now, that was able to give us what we wanted. Meaning we said that to them, we need dedicated vehicles in the area. They said, we will give you dedicated vehicles. But all of that came with customer numbers. So they said, if you give us 250 clients out of GarsCom, we will give you a dedicated vehicle. If you give us 500 customers, we'll give you another dedicated vehicle. So when it came to 750 customers that we gave them, they asked us, do you want a third vehicle? And we said, no, we don't want a third vehicle. We want you to help us to put up a control room. So that is what they did. They helped us to put up a control room. It's not their control room. It is GarsCom's control room. It's run by GarsCom. It's operated by GarsCom. We have Anthony sitting here in front. That is the control room manager as well. So it's just GarsCom involvement there. They just assisted us to set that up. So national then, or CHUB changed to national. It's local South African owned company. And from 2016 until present, they are our preferred security provider. So let's talk about the next slide. Nettie, did you go to the next slide? Thank you, because I can't see your screen. Why only one security company? So the other question we get is, okay, so you've now decided to go with a specific security company, but why only one? Why don't you collaborate with the other security companies? Actually, we do, and I'll talk about that now. So we cooperate with all security companies. So once a week, there's actually a meeting that GarsCom sits on that meeting, and all security companies from the area is actually on that meeting. And we collaborate and we talk about the crime in the area. So it's not as if we don't talk to other security companies. We do talk to other security companies. But what we have noticed is that the only way to prevent crime is for one security company in our area that can do various things. Number one, they are focused in our area. So they don't come in and they leave, and they come in and they leave. They dedicated here. They put their people here, and those people never leave. They do continuous and dedicated patrols. So they are not, obviously they're also human, the reaction officers, but they won't sit under a tree until there's a call or an alarm that goes off, and then go and check what is the problem. Those people, they will have their breaks or whatever, but they patrol throughout. They always busy driving around, looking for suspicious activity, and keeping us safe. What also happens is it then becomes cost effective for our community, because if they focus here and we keep the area safe, and we all pull together and give the security company the number of customers, it becomes cost effective. We then start negotiating prices with these security companies. There was something else that I wanted to mention now. My age is now talking, so I can't remember what that was. But it also allows for collaboration, meaning that we can actually go and speak to this one security company. And we can say, these are our demands, and you have to meet these demands. Oh, the one other thing that I wanted to mention that I forgot is, and I forgot it again, is, and I actually do want to talk about that. Oh, yes. So our model, and I just want to make that quite clear. Our model, GarsCom model, states a preferred security company, one security company. Our model doesn't specify it has to be a national. That's not what our model says. That's not written into our model. Our model says one security company, so that that one security company can take responsibility for our area, and there's no finger pointing between them when something happens. It is one security company that we speak to. It's one security company we give our demands to, etc. And that gives us more leverage, which I will also talk about a little bit later. Funny Carol, if there's something that I'm forgetting to say, please just put your hand up and then we can talk about that. So let's talk about the future. What is to come? So I've given you a bit of history. I can actually talk about GarsCom for days probably, but let's just talk about what is to come, the future. So unfortunately, we've noticed that there were some issues that started coming up with National. And there was then obviously a decline in clientele, especially in the GarsCom area. So we had to very quickly form a group. So we actually formed a strategic group within GarsCom. It's not just the director sitting on there. There's a lot of people from the community and here tonight as well that is sitting on that strategic group. And what we have said is we need to make a plan here. We're losing clientele. We don't want to do that. We need people to belong to one security company again, so that we have that leverage and that we have that power in order to get what it is that we require in GarsCom to keep our residents safe. So what happened is in this strategic group, the strategic group was actually formed not a week ago, not a month ago, but actually more than a year ago. So we have been talking about plans. Sorry, I thought I put my phone on vibrate. So we started making plans and talking to various people more than a year ago. If I say various people, so the people on the strategic team are people with their own expertise and gave their input, but we didn't just stop there. We sent out a community survey, a community-wide survey some time ago. Some of you may remember, we didn't send it to the entire community. Nettie actually helped us, and there were people that were picked randomly in streets, and then a survey was sent to them regarding GarsCom, regarding National, regarding your trust level in GarsCom, regarding your trust level in National, etc. What we've also done, the strategic group, is we met with various security companies, speaking to them, asked them about, would you support our model? What is it that you guys can offer? What is it that you think you can do for us in GarsCom? So we spoke to various companies and also specialist consultants that doesn't sit on the strategic group, but people that specialize in security. They specialize in setting up security initiatives within communities, etc. So we have actually done a lot of homework. What we're talking about tonight wasn't something that was decided a week ago. This is something that came actually a very long time. So what have we decided? So we told you now what the problem is. What have we decided to do? So number one is, in order for us as GarsCom to have more leverage over a security company, what we are looking at doing is moving to a one client system. So what does that mean? That means that the residents belong to GarsCom, and GarsCom as one client belongs to a security company. So everybody will pay GarsCom, and GarsCom then pays over the security company. So what does that mean if that happens? Well, a couple of things. It increases GarsCom bargaining power and control over that security company. We can then say, but we need an SLA in place. We need you to do this or that, whatever the case might be. We can then monitor quite a lot of things if we have that bargaining power. Whereas currently, so everybody that belongs to National has a contract between National and that customer, not GarsCom. Although GarsCom has a different contract with National or that security company, we don't really have a say over that customer's interaction or that customer's contract with National. We obviously have a lot of input. We do give a lot of input. We do meet with these security companies quite a lot, but a one client system will allow us more bargaining power with the security company. However, what is the problem that we then face with that? Well, the problem is the changeover. So meaning that if a security company comes forward and they say, we are happy to have you, GarsCom, as a one client, we then obviously need to move clients over from national to GarsCom. All right. So that is the one problem that we are facing. So what is our solution? So as I mentioned, there's actually a couple of security companies that we spoke to, that we deliberated with, and we have then, as a strategic group, based on the interaction and our demands that we have decided on a new partnership with Fidelity ADT. So our new single security provider going forward from the, and I think something closed there, I will look there. So,
This way.
sorry guys. Oh, okay. So as from the 1st of April, our new preferred security company will not be national anymore, but will be Fidelity ADT. And there's a couple of things that they are helping us with, and they are coming to the table because they do understand what our model is about. They actually have offices close by. So those of you that's driven in Jacqueline, they actually have new offices there that they've opened up. They actually moved from the, what was that center? You guys Eastdale Pavilion. They used to be there at the top, and then they moved to Jacqueline. So they're actually close by, and they understand our model. They understand what it is that we want. They understand our demands. They agreed to our demands, and they offered more than that. So the one thing that they're going to do is they will assist and finance with the change over to a one client model. Because the one thing that we realized is we rely quite a lot on the portion that we get from national. So you would know that for every national client that be in GarsCom that signs up with national, they give us 38 Rand. It used to be more than that, but they then lowered that to 38 Rand. So that 38 Rand per client actually contributed towards the running of the control room, the cameras, etc., etc. So the one thing that we realized is if we end our relationship as GarsCom with national, we won't be receiving that money anymore. That means that there are control room operators that won't get salaries anymore. There will be maintenance that cannot be done. There will be rent that cannot be paid. There will be electricity and other overheads that cannot be paid. So Fidelity ADT stepped up and they said, no worries, when you guys start moving over, we will fit the bill. We will pay for all your overheads to assist you guys with the move over onto Fidelity ADT. They will also assist administratively to recover lost clients. So clients that we have lost, unfortunately, because of, I'm not sure what the right word is, because of service levels that went down, F-ADT will now assist in getting those clients back into the GarsCom model. And we will do that together with Fidelity ADT. So what does this mean for you as the community? So this means that it only starts from the 1st of April, as we had to, well, Marklaas, are you okay? Yeah. All good. Okay. Everybody else, you guys are still okay? Haven't fainted because of the heat? So why the 1st of April? Because we as GarsCom had to give notice contractually to national in order to end our relationship with them, which we have done. We've sent them notification today from the directors. So that is, it takes a month for that contract to finish up then. So from the 1st of April, what does that mean for you guys? Well, actually not much. It's mostly business as usual, all right? GarsCom will be in partnership with Fidelity ADT and not national. So we're changing over from national as our preferred security provider to Fidelity ADT as our security provider. F-ADT will be the dedicated proactive service provider. Does that mean that anything changes regarding the reaction officers and what we got as a service from the reaction officers in those two dedicated vehicles from National. No, those two dedicated vehicles that you will see now is just Fidelity ADT vehicles. So F-ADT will put two vehicles in our area that will do exactly the same and more to our community. They have better technology. So we looked at the technology that they have. I'm not sure if I should say this, but I am going to. So I already moved over to F-ADT because of an incident that happened. So I moved over to F-ADT, and just what I saw as a client, what I saw, the service that they give me when my alarm goes off, or an issue that I have, an administrative issue that I have, they are very proactive in what they do and how they communicate with me, but let me not be the salesperson. I'm just telling you my experience with F-ADT that I have had to date. F-ADT will be the dedicated proactive service provider, as I mentioned. The control room is still open for everybody, so nothing changes in the control room at this stage. The only thing that changes is the operators in there will now be, because they have to be CIRA registered, that is by law, they have to be CIRA registered. And the operators there will most probably now be F-ADT operators, all right, and not national operators, but status quo remains. You phone them, they help you. As opposed to a national vehicle that will be dispatched to your house, an F-ADT vehicle will now be dispatched to your house. So from the 1st of April, unfortunately, GarsCom will not be able to assist with any national related inquiries anymore. So because we have withdrew our, or we've ended our relationship with them as from the 1st of April. So if there's any queries regarding national, be it administrative on your account or whatever, or security-wise, we unfortunately will not be able to assist with those queries anymore. But up until the 1st of April, feel free to ask us to help you to resolve any national queries that you have. So what is it that you must do that we require from you as the community? Like before, we need a minimum amount of clients to sustain the proactive service. So remember, the security company F-ADT now invests a lot of money. And if I say a lot of money, I am promising you they actually investing quite a lot of money in our community. So they also a company, they have to be sustainable. So they would also need the numbers in order for them to continue with investing in our community. So that's the one thing that I want to mention. And so we will send out more communication later on regarding what it is that you guys have to do. The one thing that I want to mention is we will never force anybody, any of our community members, to move over from a security company. We will never do that. It is still your option who you want to belong to. All that we are saying is that we are our new single security service provider is F-ADT going forward. It is still your choice on who you want to belong to. Then the Fidelity ADT managers are actually here tonight for some more information, and I am going to ask, I will ask Tony Carroll just now to just introduce them, but on this slide, I just want to say this again. GarsCom will never force anyone to change over to F-ADT. It is your choice as a community. The control room in GarsCom is still open for all. Doesn't matter which security company you belong to, the GarsCom control room is there for you. And I would now like to hand over to Tony Carroll, who will just introduce the F-ADT team. And as she introduces you, if you guys will just come up, and then if you would like to say something, you're welcome to. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Menno. That was a mouthful. So from our side, welcome to everybody, especially welcome to our F-ADT team. Thank you for coming tonight. So, and all the people that on Zoom, thanks a lot. I think it was so necessary for us to convey our message. Just before I introduce my new partners, let me just say this. The strategic team, you don't know people, how these people worked night and day. And you can, Bertus said, you know, it's not very common to meet on a Friday afternoon, but they agreed and they met Friday afternoons.
Maybe for a beer. They don't mind.
I didn't have beer gegeen, but they came. So thank you for the team. Thanks a million. You did a stunning job. And I can assure you all that what we decided was not just because we had a preference or so. It was really a hard work from our whole team. Baie dankie for that. I can also say something personal, I think. My own daughter is also part of the team. So I'm handing over to the new generation. So thank you for Nettie coming in and helping us a lot. I think a lot of you still know Nettie from school days. She was one of the first GarsCom members because she handed out little letters in the people's fences every day. When I had something to communicate, I had no emails, nothing, and she had to deliver my letters. So dit vir ons vandag is baie dankie. Thank you very much. Eric Becker is the branch manager of this Garsfontein branch. Thank you, Eric. You answer my telephone calls, and sometimes it's I know I'm really like a dripping crown, but so sorry. I know that it's really something to work with you so far. So thank you very much. I just want to introduce you. Eric is, as jy net vorentoe kom, Eric is the manager here, and he is here for just more than a year. So thank you for Eric keeping everything together. He also apologized for Leon Mulder, who is the area manager, the secretary, yeah, the GM. So he is also very helpful in all our planning and stuff. And then Maurits, thank you. Maurits is the community manager in F-ADT. So you'll see more of Maurits, and he's also doing a very great job. I know Maurits already for a long time because of the Monday meetings. Monday meetings, we see all the community members, all the security members, and that helps us a lot to know the integrity and the way they tackle our the community problems. So baie welkom en dankie ook. And then we've got our marketing manager, Christine. Sure, you know, marketing people are amazing people. They can do something so quickly and so wonderful. It looks so nice. So baie welkom and baie dankie. Thank you for everything that you've done. Perhaps I'll just ask Eric if the others want to say something. Just
100%. Thanks, guys. Evening all, ladies, gents here present as well as on Zoom. Yeah, as Tony Carroll mentioned, my name is Eric Becker. I'm the branch manager for Pretoria East. Quite a big area, but our office is in Garsfontein, Jacqueline Drive. So yeah, I'd just like to thank the community, you're all here, as well as the directors for the opportunity. The changeover or the decision, as Manuel mentioned, wasn't an overnight decision. We've been designing and resculpting, going back to the drawing board for the past 6-7 months, almost 8 months, designing a model to fit into the community. GarsCom, I'm getting goosebumps as I say this, but GarsCom is a very unique community. Everybody aspired to be like you, but they don't have the community. They have the plans, but not the community. So well done to all of you. I think you can give yourself applause for that. From the Fidelity ADT point of view, we started with localization about 2 years back. So the Pretoria region, just to give you an example, Pretoria to Centurion broke up to 4 different branches. We've got an office in Jacqueline Drive, then we've got one in Brooklyn, Centurion, as well as in Montana. So we broke it up, we made it a little bit smaller so we can compete with our local competitors, as well as give the clients a walk-in office. Anybody can walk into my office. I think, Anthony, some people that know me here, I don't know if I don't see all the faces, but if somebody knows me, then they can just walk into my office and the problem gets solved. So from our side, what we're going to do, I'm not just going to quickly abbreviate it. First of all, we're happy to announce that we're going to give GarsCom their own control room. In St. Bernard Street, we're going to build a control room for GarsCom community. A walk-in control. If you have an account issue, you walk in there and an email gets sent to the right department and I get CC'd most probably. And then it gets sorted out. Okay, so I think that's the main thing with a big corporate is people don't have that personalized service. And that's why we are here tonight, to show you that we don't hide away. If there's a problem, we come and face the problem. Okay. Yet again, we're going to match the two vehicles. The benefit is we don't only have 2 dedicated vehicles here. We've got 4 vehicles in Garsfontein, 3 in Morletta Park, 3 in Olympus. So if the 2 vehicles are busy, we've got backup vehicles all over. Okay, so, and then lastly, what we're going to do is with regards with your proactive policing or patrolling, you've got a lot of cameras installed. I think there's excess of 24. Yeah, 24 cameras. We're installing a little bit higher technology, higher end technology for the cameras to assist with regards to the sniper you mentioned. We're going to put you over to our Syntel. Syntel has got a little bit of bigger database nationally, and we will be able to monitor the LPRs, put in artificial intelligence on the existing cameras. So there's a lot of exciting things that we're going to do, and I think I'm not going to waste everybody's time. It's nice and cozy inside here, nice and warm. So I'm just going to give it over to Moritz now. But yeah, we are going to beef it up a little bit. I think we need to beef it up. Crime is beefing up, and we need to beef up with the crime. Unfortunately, nowadays we had an incident in Savannah yesterday with a gun at gunpoint. They robbed an old lady of a cell phone. At gunpoint. So this is where crime is going to, and that's where we need to step up to. So yeah, we're happy to be able to be part of this new process. Great. I think Nettie mentioned there's a few questions on Zoom that I can maybe address.
Maybe let's start with the Zoom questions, and then if there's any extra questions, we some of them are, I think some of us want to know the answers as well. So the first one was just cost implications.
Cost implications. Obviously, all of us, our bonds went up, our cars went up, everything went up, except our power. So what we're going to do is we looked at the cost. Everybody's price sensitive. So you're going to come in at a lower fee. So at a residential rate, we are fixing the fees. There's no sudden fuel levies and things like that. That has been negotiated in the model. Except if fuel goes up 10 rand, then it's a different story, but that will be communicated. So a residential fee, to give you an example, will be 460 rand. Because there's no rebate. We don't need to pay a rebate over to anybody. We are picking up the cost and we are paying for the controllers. We're making the controllers CIRA compliant. We're making the control rooms ITSA compliant and CIRA compliant. So we, like I said, we're beefing it up a little bit. Which has not been. So yeah, residential, to give you an idea, is a 460.
Then someone wants to know, does it mean we have to all give notice to National before tomorrow?
Yes, so no, not before tomorrow. That's a bit quick. Give me a little bit more grey hair. Luckily I'm using them. So no, how it's going to work is all of you are still clients of National, and you would need to serve a month notice to cancel with National. We have considered that in our negotiation, and we're going to give each client 2 months free service when you sign up to accommodate that takeover.
Does F-ADT have an app to control alarm systems?
Yes, we've got multiple apps. So we've got different types of apps. We've got Secure Connect, Secure Guard, for Ajax, for Qualsys, alarm.com. So yes, we've got all the apps that you need for each and every alarm system specified. Yeah.
How long is the GarsCom contract with F-ADT?
I think, yeah, that question, I think it's a year that we negotiated, the first 12 months, I said. Yeah. The first 12 months. We're doing the first 6 months, but thereafter 12 months. So yeah, it's going to be a 12-month contract.
I trust our own control room personnel will remain, but be supported and trained by F-ADT. Yes,
Anthony was a big help for that process. So we're getting all of them on the CIRA grades. CIRA is the Private Security Industry Regulating Authority. and we're getting them compliant, and then we will take them over, and we will also fit the bill for that. Yes.
Who do we contact to switch?
Okay, contact the switch. I'm going to hand over to Christine. She will explain the entire process. But yes, it's going to be a very easy process. Yeah.
Okay. And I think then that's one more question then for Minwell.
Where are the difficult questions?
Yeah. Okay, maybe just okay, the last question. So can we belong to another security company, for instance, and still contact the control room?
Yes, that has been addressed. Yeah.
Yes, so definitely. In the control room, when you phone in, we don't even ask you which security company you belong to. So even if you do not move over to F-ADT, you can still phone the control room because it's a GarsCom control room, our community control room. But just remember that control room doesn't run for free. Those operators have to be paid, the rent has to be paid, everything has to be paid as with a normal business. And at this stage, F-ADT will be fitting that bill. But it doesn't mean that if you are from any other security company that you cannot use the control room. By all means, please use them 24/7, 365.
That's it.
Great, thanks. Anybody on the floor while I'm busy answering questions? Yes, ma'am, please.
I would just like to know, is this not going to cause friction with the two security companies? I think he had something in the past.
Thank you for that question. We have addressed that with our design of this model, and we are going to allocate, we already allocated a vehicle as from today, dedicated for this area, call sign Echo 7, and then we are going to dedicate a second vehicle without having the clients as the national model. So if that's the case, and you're a client of ours, there will be no friction. I had another question.
Now, what about the equipment that the alarm systems and radio transmitters? Are they going to be removed as they belong to the national or what? No,
sir. Only the radio. We will replace that radio at no charge, and it's the alarm equipment stays your property because you have purchased it. Yes.
So you mentioned that you are now opening a walk-in center in St. Bernard. What then happens with the current control room and the location for the property relocated that
Yes, sir. It will. Currently it's in Whippet Street. That control room as well as equipment gets moved over to the GarsCom Community Center. It stays the property of GarsCom, not taking anything away from GarsCom, but there will also be a facility for a walk-in client. So the control room will move over to the new location. Yes.
And just to mention there that ADT will actually kit out the new control room with state-of-the-art technology. So thank you for that as well.
Yes, UPS as inverters, African solution, yeah.
More questions from the people here? Sorry.
So just one thing, I understand you want to move over to that. What if you don't reach your market target of the community members joining it? I myself, I'm with Paul. I left national a while ago, different issues, but if you don't make your target, you don't to dedicate a vehicle out of national. But at what stage will you then say, okay, so we're not making our target, it's not feasible anymore?
Okay, they were very gracious with me to give me a year to do it, to reach my numbers. I've got a number in my head I need to reach. And I said, don't worry, I'll make it in 6 months. So I've got a year, but my plan is to reach our targeted number in 6 months, yes.
All right, and then the national radios that need to be taken out, you put your new ones and stuff like that. I know there is a charge from national that you have to pay. You either have to drop it off their office in Brooklyn, or you're going to pay a service fee for them to collect it. Will that be included?
I know there's, I saw that contract before. There's, I think, 399 Rand collection fee or something on the radio. It's a valid point. I think, if you please, we cannot take the property of national off your premises because it's national's property, and that will be seen as theft. So you need to, we will take the radio out for you. We'll put it somewhere for you, and we can put our radio in, but we're not allowed to remove that radio from the property. So national will need to go and pick it up. I think only time will tell how this will phase out from national's point of view.
Just what I want to mention on there is, so usually what will happen if you move over to a new security company, you pay for the radio because they come and fit new equipment, you pay for the radio. So what F-ADT said is if you move over to them, they will not charge you for that radio. If National is going to charge you $3.99 or whatever to come and fetch their radio, unfortunately, we cannot speak for that, but F-ADT will not charge you to put their radio in. There were a question at the back, I think. Someone?
Yeah, maybe one of the difficult ones.
Thank you.
Have you guys also got a jumping castle for the?
Funny enough, there's a little tale about that. We had a meeting with our CEO, Mr. Walbartman, in our office, and we are also going to avail him to the community. He's willing to come. He's very excited about the project, hence him investing a lot of money in the project. And he said he's got a jumping castle at home and he will brand it for us. So, yes.
You also get popcorn machine and stuff.
But you'll be at the market.
We'll be at the market.
Yes, we will.
The market is picking up nicely. I must compliment the committee and GarsCom. It's becoming a very, very attractive place for people to interact. And I think the jumping castle is something that must, but it's not big.
Great, thank you. Any last question, maybe?
Maybe a last one. Sorry. If your system is that is currently in your house, quite old, will there be a reduction for cost for if you come and install a new system?
Yes, it has. That has also been in the design of the model. So we are giving a 15% discount on list price for all GarsCom clients, as well as a call-out fee for all technical work at $299 instead of a normal rate of $500. So we will discount. Remember, our main objective is to get the community strong. The more the community, the stronger the community is, the easier our job becomes as well. And the more resources we can pump into the community, the more clients we have. So it's a collective effort from all of us to get GarsCom strong, and then we are a service provider for GarsCom, and we support GarsCom in the efforts.
There was a question here.
I have misunderstood you, sir. But you said that GarsCom is going to be the only client. We're going to pay to GarsCom. We're not going to be in a contract with F-ADT. Each individual of us have a personal contract with you. How is that going to work? What's the cost going to be involved with that?
So that is what we're aiming towards. So that is what our model is about. We already discussed that with F-ADT. So with the takeover, I'm going to call it the takeover, it sounds weird. But the takeover, status quo is going to remain. So you are going to, if you want to move over, remember, we're not forcing you. You're going to cancel your contract with whichever service provider you are, and you're going to sign up with F-ADT. What they will help us to do, what other companies, security companies didn't want to do for us, is they will, later on down the line, 6 months or 12 months or whatever,
2 years.
they will, sorry?
2 years.
2 years. So after 2 years, if we sign up all these clients, they will actually assist us to become a one client model, where everybody will then be moved over to GarsCom, and it's then much easier than moving everybody from one security company to another one and then to become one customer. So 2 years where you're going to be a customer then of F-ADT, and after that, they will help us to become one client model where everybody then belongs to GarsCom. So to answer your question, what will that cost? I cannot say now at this stage. We will negotiate that at a later time.
Just as mentioned with the strategic team is, we can't have too many, this is how I look like. We can't have too many drastic changes at once. So we first need to see fit to get GarsCom strong again, and when GarsCom is strong again, we can then, not strong again, still strong, but when GarsCom is strong, then we'll be able to move over to a one client billing. It's much easier for us as well, administrative for us.
What will happen to the monthly debit orders for GarsCom?
So that doesn't change. So status quo remains there. The debit order, so if you are a GRA member or GarsCom Residents Association member, that debit order will still run. At this stage, that has got nothing to do with F-ADT. That is that 120 Rand that you pay per month, or if you're in a complex unit, it's 50 Rand a month. That money still comes to GarsCom, which GarsCom then uses to invest back into the community. So that debit order still remains.
Maybe one last question here. Kindly confirm, are we moving to AI-enabled CCTV? What impact will that have on the monthly premiums if we don't get the required numbers?
The answer will be nothing. We're moving over to a software called Deep Alert. We are giving you, we're going to push all your cameras through our service, through Deep Alert for AI to see human movement and identify human movement, go to black screen monitoring, and that's not going to affect your monthly fee at all. Your monthly fee has got nothing to do with the control room, the staff, that is GarsCom. So if you contribute to GarsCom, that makes the technology more efficient. Yes, just a quick question.
Sorry, talking about the GRA, does the model make any provision for GRA member getting a preferential rate from F-ADT?
We are going to standardize the rates. So I also want to mention with regards to the rates, we are giving an allowance to pensioners, people in complexes, people with electric fences, as well as people that opt only for a panic button. So your monthly fee will reduce. The highest rate that you're going to be charged is 460, and it goes down to 250 for a panic button only. So we're making it as affordable as possible to get the community secure. Great. I also want to mention, and Maurits is the ops manager for that area as well. We've got different models like this, and you can drive through them and have a look. For instance, CGSV, we've got an access of 800 clients there in a density of 1,200 people for residential households. We've got booms at the gate, dedicated vehicle, and yeah. So we're already running this model. We're running single billing clients, running multiple billing clients with the same concept. We call it LSS. So low class security sectors. So we've paid the school fees. We know exactly what to do and how to do it. We just need the community to assist us with it. Great. I think the rest of the questions, Nettie, if there's more questions, I can put it on Zoom and just send me a mail and I'll just answer them accordingly. I'm going to hand over to Maurits, our Community Operational Manager.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Sorry.
Well, okay. Well, everybody should be able to hear me.
You know how to shoot this.
Yeah. Slow communication. Like my target. Yeah, so I think I'm very excited for what's happening now in your area. Like you just said, you know, the concept is already improved and tried and tested, and it works. I mean, obviously there's going to be questions like when are we going to break? You guys going to break even? When will you realize that it's not feasible and it's better, you know, leave you in that in a very bad spot? But I said it the other day as well to a different community. It's just a matter of time until everybody start doing this LSS, the localized security scheme thing, because it's inevitable. The thing is, because you don't want to be the community who's not doing that, because you'll be the community who's getting targeted. So we are willing, I think, I don't know the branch manager, he knows all the numbers, to invest and to put in time and effort to secure our place in this growing market. So it's for the benefit of, obviously, you guys, and then also for us. Crime is picking up everywhere, and we've this morning again we went through all the tendencies and the statistics and everything that's happening around you guys. It's looking bad. We had an attempted murder. We had that armed robbery. We had so the best thing that you guys can do is, I almost said a very bad word. Get rid of national. I can say this. I can assure you that you will make a much better decision if you go with us. So, Christine, you want to say anything?
Yeah. First and foremost, before I say anything else about if there's any one of you that want to move over and when you want to do it, how we're going to approach that scenario. The first thing I just want to say, And I think that's the most important thing. You guys are very privileged to have people by the likes of the GarsCom management team to fight your cause. I've been doing this for a while now, and it's the first time I've really been challenged with demands. And we really had to bend a little bit to come to those, to meet up with those expectations and those demands. So you guys are really privileged having these people fighting your cause. They really carry all of you in their hearts. And I think it's a very admirable thing to have people that doesn't even get remunerated for that, to be so involved and so passionate about other people's safety. And let's be honest, most of us here are senior people. There's those little ones sitting at home, and that's going to be our legacy. We want to make sure that we secure and do things now to make it better for them in the next 5 to 10 years. There's a lot of challenges that we're facing at the moment. We are all going through the same thing with load shedding and criminals getting clearer by the day. And we have to adapt all our strategies to coincide and to come up with new and inventive technology and ideas and strategies. And this strategy is one of the most positive figures with the biggest impact that we have done so far. And as you drive around in Pretoria, the Pretoria region has got more cameras than the whole of the national footprint. So most of these actions are taking place here in Pretoria, where you are part of the community. Thank you for GarsCom for approaching us and for giving us this opportunity. And I promise you that we will do everything in our best to keep our name high and to deliver the service that you are expecting of us. Not that you're paying for, what you're expecting from us, because it's going to be so much more. Then just what Tannie Carol said about joining and coming over, we will basically do it in 2 ways. We're trying to make it as easy for you guys to move over. The first thing is that we will have a branded dedicated trailer that we will put in certain spots within the community, and we will communicate that details with you. It will make it easy for you just to come to the trailer. We will move it around and we'll just make it easier. We will have people on standby. I will be there as well. And then the second option is when you're ready to move over and you would like to see someone to come and see you at home, we will then have the control room's number available. You can leave your contact details with them, and we will then, that will be distributed back to us, and we will make sure that we assign someone to come and see. I will make sure that my details are also communicated to you. If you've got any questions on marketing, events, or sales, you're welcome to contact me directly. Any questions?
Difficult question. Please save it for her.
I don't have a person now.
Thank you so much for everybody. Baie dankie julle drie. So let's see. We will meet again and then we will evaluate. Baie dankie. So from my side then, thank you for everybody that came and that came with the Zoom meeting. Baie dankie daarvoor, and we are still available here afterwards if you want to ask something. Menno?
Yeah, thanks, Tannie Carol. And again, thank you guys for coming out. I didn't expect that we'll have so many people here at Noddyland, but I really appreciate this, and I really hope to see this when we now start with our face-to-face monthly meetings where you can, and I'll actually, with those monthly meetings, I'll bring Betsy with. Betsy can stand here next to me and she can answer your questions when it comes to municipal issues and things like that. Betsy is actually very proactive in our area. But again, to the people on Zoom, thank you very much for joining. What I will do is we have recorded the session. I will make that session available on YouTube. We will share the link with the community. So if you guys want to look at that again or share it with someone else that were not able to join the meeting tonight, please feel free to do that. As Tannie Carol mentioned, F-ADT plus the GarsCom team, strategic team, will still be here. So if you have any questions afterwards, you're welcome to come and ask. And then enjoy your evening, and thank you for coming. Drive home safe. Thank you.